One of the most phenomenal moments in Song for Nature tonight on Sky Arts at 9 o'clock is the moment when Beth Porch from the NHS, the little girl who went on to Britain's Got Talent, who is a nurse at Great Ormond Street Hospital, sings the Resolution song. And that was offered up to me, to us, by John Farndon and Abby Wright, who managed to get this song recorded all over the world by several countries. We'll talk about it to John now. He's sitting next to me. This is John Farndon. It's lovely to have you with us, John. Thank you so much. Thank you. John, tell us a little bit about how it was like, what it was like to get the Resolution song recorded all over the world.
It was an extraordinarily moving process. What was quite interesting is we had this idea that we would get people around the world to sing for a better world, basically. And what was amazing was the response from every country in the world. I realised I had contacts in different countries, obscure countries that nobody else, but we got in touch by Facebook, by phone calls, and the response was extraordinary. And what they all put their hearts and souls into it. We've got this amazing singer for Jason who sings on a rubbish dump in Sierra Leone, and then we've got a nature project in Indonesia, and we've got people from all over the world, and they're giving their hearts and souls. And for me, it was an incredibly moving to see each one coming in, and for Abby as well, to see these videos coming in when they came back. Each one had something, and every time we play them to somewhere else, everyone has this gobsmacking, wow, what a moving event, because they're people singing from their hearts and singing with me and singing about making the world a better place, and people don't get a chance to do that very often.
No. Who wrote that lovely song?
It's a fantastic song. It was three young songwriters. It was Violet Skies, Robin Howell, and Holly Etheridge, and they did such a beautiful job, because the thing about that song is that it's very simple, and it allows people of all kinds of musical abilities to pick it up, but it also can be layered to make it into a very anthemic, clever pop song. So hats off to them. Abby helped a bit. Abby Wright helped with a little bit with the lyrics, but it's essentially their work, and they did a fantastic job.
They certainly did. It's an incredible song, and it was one of the things that spurred me on when we met, and you sent me, I think it was something like 50 videos straight off, and that wasn't the whole lot, and I looked through almost every one of them, and was just so thrilled that people around the world cared about climate as much as we did, and it makes you feel so connected to other people. Before Abby came along to you to ask you to do this, what were you up to?
Well, in terms of climate change, I was involved with the Extinction Rebellion. And myself and Lola Perrin, the pianist, and Stuart Capstick, we believed that Extinction Rebellion and the climate change needed the arts. So we set up an arts and culture group for Extinction Rebellion just before what they called the Spring Rebellion in 2019. And as a result of that, lots of people got on board, so it's not just us. But as a result of that, arts became very central to that rebellion, and we had music in the streets. And it was a really important part of getting the message across and saying, actually, change doesn't need to be grim. It can be fun. It can make the world a better place. And so that was a very important message. I think it's been lost a little bit from Extinction Rebellion, and that's one of the reasons why I got drawn into the resolution thing, because it seemed like a much wider movement. Because not everybody can be a rebel, and not everybody wants to man the barricades, but everybody cares about the world, and so art and singing seemed a very important way of doing it. So that's why I kind of got drawn to the Resolution project.
And Song for Nature, we met because of that, and it's now been recorded by Beth Porch, wonderful Beth Porch, her own version of your song, yes, with the London Voices, and we will see that tonight on Sky Arts at 9 o'clock. Beth will be with us in that concert. You were talking earlier when we were just chatting over there about, well, we were both saying about the word or the words climate change and how that becomes to be almost something one says and doesn't really think about it anymore. You mentioned another word. You are a great wordsmith yourself, being a writer and a songwriter. Tell us the words that you think we should start looking at as opposed to climate change.
I don't have a word yet, and it's something I need to think about, but I think that we need a dialogue to come up with it, because I think climate change has become, as you said, it's become something that's written off and thrown off the top of the tank. But the thing is that the crisis that we're having at the moment is not just climate chaos, and that is a very real crisis. But we're also having a massive ecological crisis. I mean, it's astonishing the number of species that are being wiped out every year. But it also goes hand in hand with the crisis in humanity. I think you can. It's all too easy to say I'm really upset about a species going extinct, but children are dying out through starvation and war and things. So basically, we have a situation which we need to address for the future of humanity, the future of nature. And I haven't got a word yet, but I will. But I'm really open to suggestions. But it's a word that encompasses the crisis to the way humanity responds to the planet.
You mentioned the word damage.
Yes, I think damage is kind of quite an important thing, because one of the things, we're right in the middle of a pandemic, and the pandemic is caused by our exploitation of the environment. All the new virus mutations are zoonotic. In other words, they come from animal. And basically, so our damage to the world is causing us problems. So yes, damage is a very good word, but actually, I don't want to focus too much on the negative. That's the one problem I have with that, because I think we really need to cling on to hope. I think it's actually a better world is very easy to achieve if we have a mind to do it.
That's a really lovely thought. When we got together with London Climate Change Festival, we decided the same thing. Let's not be doom and gloom about this. Let's get information, inspiration, and hope.
Absolutely. Well, one of the things is you listen to those songs from the resolution from around the world, and what the uniting factor with all of them is an incredible sense of joy. Yeah. And actually, making the world a better place brings people joy. Yeah. So actually, joy is very motivating. Fear is not motivating entirely. It makes you want to kind of cower under the covers and say, "I'll wake me up when it's all gone away." Yeah. But joy makes you get out there and do something.
Yeah. And on that joyous note, thank you so much, John. That was great. Thank you.